All right, I'm back. So obviously this video is titled How I Make 10K per month, and I actually recently just hit that. It's pretty crazy considering that very, very recently, as you can see on the channel, literally only one video ago, I had a video making my first 1K in a day, and that was my first time making 1K in a day, and fast forward over the next 3 weeks, I hit my first 10K month pretty quickly. And the reason I'm making this now is because it was a lot easier than people think, and I kind of want to just trigger curiosity in your guys' mind and set you guys the boundaries of how anything is possible and how easy it actually is, and give you guys the way I did it so that you guys can potentially go do it yourselves. I'll probably do a video like this every time I hit a milestone, whether it's down the road when it's my first 100K in a day, because I'll definitely achieve that at one point. So every time I hit these milestones, I want to be able to give back with some value and actual technical things that you guys can use today in the moment and potentially go do it for yourselves. So like I said, it's a lot easier than most people think, but you need a few things. 1, you need true discipline. 2, you need a shit ton of determination. And 3, you need a relentless desire to not quit. There's many ways you can already know if you have these type of qualifications, like having a successful gym transformation or getting to a high level in sports, or even just doing something that you thought was impossible and took a lot amount of work. And if you don't have these qualifications, you're gonna have one of two choices: to either adapt and develop these qualities, or suffer the reality of failure and allow it to destroy you and ultimately quit. All right, so let's get into it. What I do is I'm a growth operator. So what this means is I specialize with online creators, specifically creators that have something to teach, and I join their business, usually creators that aren't even making any money or aren't making as much as they should be or can be, and I go in and upload them a proven sales system, craft them an irresistible offer, essentially print them money, and make everything on the business side convertible and create them a real business, something that they can actually make money out of, rather than just a bunch of followers on a screen. I've already done this with a couple of creators, and I plan on doing it with even more as Q4 comes to an end. And essentially, I just want to let you guys know the huge upsides and possibilities of this business. 1, when you sign a creator and you start making money, it's monthly recurring, because you create a partnership and a rev share between that business for what you're providing for them. And it can be whatever you decide. For me, typically, any creator that I work with, it will always be a 50-50 split. And that is primarily because any of the creators that I work with hadn't made money before I came into the business. So if it's not minimum 50-50, it just doesn't make sense, because without me, you would just be making $0 and it would be a waste of your time. You would just be posting for nothing. I saw Andrew Tate recently talk about this, and he talked about the situation with a man that came up to him talking about how he had a lighter and he wanted to pitch the idea to Andrew Tate of he creates the lighter, Andrew sells it, and a 50-50 and have it be a 50-50 split. And Andrew Tate follows by saying, why would it be a 50-50 split when it should be a 95-5 split? Because without me, you're not making any money. I know how to grab the attention and convert an audience, and I could do this with anyone. With you, all you have is a bunch of lighters that no one wants to buy. Now, I'm not saying go ask for 95% of a creator's entire business, because in my opinion, that's a bit unreasonable. But if you're doing your job correctly and you have the skills to make creators money, a 50-50 is the bare minimum. You can even ask for more. But typically with the creators that I work with, as of this moment, it will always be a 50-50 split. Things could change, and it's completely justified, because without the marketing and without the brilliance of what I put into the business, they have nothing. And if you don't have money from your audience, it's not a business, it's nothing. You just have a page online that has a bunch of followers that you can't actually get any money from, and you're stuck working a 9-to-5 when you could really be living your dream life. On top of that, a huge upside is the scalability. You can scale with this business model so much, because all you have to do to scale is keep signing more and more creators. And of course, this eventually turns into a little bit more of an agency model, which is what I'm transitioning to right now. And that's a whole different rabbit hole of managing and running an agency to the maximum capacity that it could be. But there's so much money to it. Like, if you get 5 creators and they're all making $5,000 per month, that's $25K a month just by signing 5 creators. Imagine if you sign 10, 15, and of course you need to manage it, but I'm trying to basically help you guys understand the upside and the possibilities of how upwards this entire business can go. On top of all that, after a shit ton of work that you'd have to do, not only just educating yourself and kind of learning how to convert audiences, because of course there's a huge science to it, and you're not just going to wake up overnight learning how to get a creator's audience to convert. But once you've gotten past that step, it's really not that hard. At the end of the day, you're pressing buttons on a screen, and especially once you launch their product, there's not an incredible amount of work that goes into it after that for periods of time. Of course, when you start scaling and when you start trying out different products and new offers, things are going to get more tricky and you're going to have to put more time in. But essentially, for a lot of periods of time, when you get the hard work and the bulk of the work done, a lot of your time is free to do other things. So if that doesn't make you want to start right now, I really don't know what will. But if you're still not interested, just stay tuned for this video, and there's a high possibility that after I explain what it is that I actually do and how easy it really can be after, of course, a lot of work, you'll probably want to get started. All right, so I'm going to break down the process in 3 simple steps. Step 1, finding a creator. Step 2, building a proven sales system. And step 3, creating them a product, and watch the money roll in. Now, of course, if I just say it like that, no one's going to really understand and you're still kind of clueless. So I'm going to break down each step in detail so you can really understand. So for the first one, finding a creator, you're going to have to do a few things first, and it really all starts with niche. So what niche should you pick? What kind of creators should you look for? What creators actually have the opportunity to sell and convert at a high level? Because not every single creator does. It's quite literally why a lot of creators with huge amounts of following are still broke. But I'm going to break that down. You're always going to want a creator that is teaching something. That is the base, no matter what, you always want that. If a creator is not teaching something, he doesn't have an audience that is willing to convert or can convert. The creator's content and the style of video he makes directly correlates to the exact type of audience he has. If he's making jokes and he's a meme page, or he's simply just funny, there's a really good chance that the audience is just coming to laugh. They're not looking to buy something or learn something. They're only looking for a joke. However, if you pick a creator that is teaching something, for example, if you get a creator that is teaching people how to get jacked in the gym and how to have a huge transformation, there's a really good chance that a lot of people will convert to that audience, because the reason they followed that creator is because they want to learn that skill that that creator has, which is going to the gym, transformations, changing their body, etc. So the baseline for picking a creator is they need to be teaching something. Now we go to niche. With niche, you want to be really, really careful, because there's shit niches and there's really good niches. Ideally, the big 3 is always going to be health, wealth, and relationships. So health, of course, being anything to do with finance. Creators teaching you how to make money. Creators teaching you how to manage your money. Anything that puts money into people's pockets is going to be a super, super high converting niche, because who in this entire world doesn't want to learn how to make money? The second one is going to be health. So anything related to health, people are going to convert at a really dietitian creators. This goes for any flexibility creators. Essentially anything that helps with your body and improving your body and your health and your overall physical ability is going to be a super high converting niche, because 1, it applies to every single human on this planet, and 2, it's something that people really, really want and are willing to pay a huge amount of money for. How much would you really pay for that? Probably a ridiculous amount if you already struggled a lot and couldn't figure it out by yourself. And lastly, of course, relationships. This is always going to be one of the highest converting niches out there. OnlyFans kind of ties into this niche. It's actually one of the biggest niches in the world. So anything that revolves around dating programs to other men so that they can get more dates, women selling dating advice to women so that they can attract the right man, women selling their bodies online so men can buy in, and really anything in the love and relationship niche is always going to be high converting, because humans are dogs at the end of the day and they all buy into that stuff at a super high amount, even though you might not be talking about it with your neighbor on a day-to-day basis. Now, yes, there is some niches that work asides this. So sometimes you can find a really random topic that a creator's in that he's teaching something. Let's say he's teaching farming to other farmers. Let's say he's teaching math to young kids. Some of these creators can work, but typically, if you want to make the most money, it's always going to be in those big 3. But of course, you can make shit tons of amounts with other creators that are in markets that are completely unsaturated, because they're not in those big 3. Because then again, those big 3 is always going to have a lot of competition, and you're going to need to do a lot of things to surpass that competition and really stand out. But it's the highest reward, and also, in a sense, sometimes the highest difficulty. Now, after you've picked your desired niche and the type of creator you want, you have to start reaching out to them. So how should you go about this? Well, essentially what you need to do is you need to go in your exact niche and find and compile a list of 500 creators that you want to reach out to. You can use apps like Notion or Google Sheets to note down every single creator just with their Instagram handle, and you should be reaching out to a minimum of 50 per day. Of course, the more the better, but 50 per day is a good standard for someone that is kind of devoting themselves for this and giving it a complete try. It shouldn't take you more than a few hours per day, and if you're not willing to devote that to your business, then you might have a complete different issue on your hands. So the standard would be 50 or more per day. Now, don't just go and send a DM. The amount of creators that are getting DMs on a daily basis is absolutely insane, and half the time they're not even checking. You want to stick to two things, email or Loom. And specifically, you want to send a Loom in your emails. That's kind of the only way it's going to really count. But you want to, and if you don't know what a Loom is, it's essentially just a screen recording of yourself on your computer explaining what you do. So you want to record this Loom and explain to the creator what you're going to do for them and how you're going to do it. One Loom is equivalent to about 50 cold DMs that you send that are just pure text. So you want to stick to Looms because one, it's more personalized, and two, not many other people are doing it, because when they see that, they're immediately going to think, okay, this guy just put enough time in to record a video specifically for me. He's talking about my account, no one else's. Most people are just auto sending the exact same DM script to 500 creators and just hoping one replies. So it's much more personalized, and it builds a much stronger connection much faster. All right, so now that you've done that, it's time to go to step 2, which is building a proven sales system. So what you need to do here is you need to think about a clever way that you can monetize to their audience and sell. One of the best ways to do that is to look at other successful creators in the exact same niche and see how they're doing it, and take bits of pieces to formulate how your entire sales system is going to be. Now, of course, this isn't just as simple as the way I'm saying it, but you need to put in the work. And if you're looking at other creators that are doing successful and getting an idea from them, there's a good chance that it's also going to work for you, as long as the niche is not completely oversaturated with that exact sales system. And that leads me into the next thing, which is building sales systems for populated niches. Generally, when you're working with a niche that is super populated and is all selling kind of the exact same thing in the exact same way, it's a huge opportunity for you. You might think, okay, I'm screwed. There's not much of an opportunity for me to differentiate myself and create something brand new off the top of my head that is some genius new invention. That's not the case. Essentially, all you need to do in really populated niches is take a look at what everyone's doing, change something a little differently, and make something a little bit better, and immediately you stand out and surpass all of your competition. Now, on contrary, when you're working with super unsaturated niches, it's kind of a hit or miss, because essentially you're gonna have to build something brand new that has never been tested out in the audience and has no proven data or statistics on if it'll actually work or won't. So it's gonna be a little bit more of a trial and error, and you're gonna have to be really creative and think of a sales system that could work. And of course you could use or what worked for a different creator in a different niche on your creator, but there's no telling how good it's going to work until you try it. So with unsaturated creators, you're going to just have to things at the wall until it sticks, and eventually once you do, it's going to pay off a lot, because you're going to be one of the leaders in your space and you're going to be the first one to do it. Immediately once you figure it out, you're already at the top of the food chain in your niche. All right, so now that you've found your creator, you found the niche, you've built a proven sales system, the final step is to create them a product. Now, every creator is different, so you're gonna have to pick a product and create a product that's directly specialized to them and something that caters exactly to their audience. 90% of the times, this is gonna be an info product, and this is why we look for creators that are teaching something, so that you can make a course or some type of value that they can directly give back to their followers in exchange for, of course, money. This is where we go, when we go heavy into product, there's a huge, I could make an entire video that would be 2 hours long just breaking this down, but to simplify, you need to create something that is new in the niche. If you see a lot of other creators having the same product, you can't just go and rinse the exact same product, because it's not gonna work for you. And even if it does work, it'll work for a very limited amount of time. It could work for 1 to 6 months, but eventually it'll always tank and you'll never actually become as successful as you want to be. When you're creating products, what you really need to think about is, how can I give the most amount of benefits to the audience? How can I help individuals as much as I can? When you create a good product and something that can genuinely change the lives of the person that is consuming that product, that is when you start to gain success. This needs to be the part that you typically spend the most time on. When it comes to product, you're gonna have to pick one of two struggles. You are either going to spend a lot of time and suffering creating the product, and then client acquisition is gonna become extremely easy. Or on the contrary, you can do the exact opposite, and you can spend a minimal amount of time on product And then client acquisition becomes really hard. So typically, the first option is always going to be better, because when you are creating a good product, it's here to last, and it's a snowball effect, because when you have a good product that provides a lot of good value, you're going to get a lot of good testimonials, and then other people are going to see those testimonials, and they're automatically, subconsciously going to think it's a good product as well. So it's an entire snowball effect that helps you grow at a much bigger rate. And essentially, you don't want client acquisition to be your main struggle, because what you're doing and the way you're acquiring these clients is through the natural marketing of the creator that they already have, which is their followers. You don't want to go create a shitty product, already show it to the amount of followers that he has, and no one wants it, and then have to go find different means to sell that product, which is whether it's paid ads or email marketing. You want this to all be natural and make as much money as possible with the creator's natural warm audience. And of course, when you're creating this product, it has to be about the thing that the creator is specialized in, and the creator has to really truly be a master of what he's talking about. People will see right through some guy talking about something that he doesn't know about. It's very blatantly obvious, and you'll be able to see right through it. Make sure that the product is specifically about that skill set that he has, and that he's developed enough that he can eventually share to a bunch of new people around the world. And once you've done that, you launch, and that's it. Let the money roll in. Start to enjoy looking at your Stripe sales every day, and then start looking for a second creator. Of course, you're going to need to expand and develop and scale. Scaling is an even bigger puzzle that I would need to make 3 videos on just to explain that. So in conclusion, it isn't easy, but it is super simple. All you have to do is work hard and really be motivated and believe that you can do it, and you can. This literally happened to me, and within the span of the month, I went from no money to my first 10K month and making even 1K in one day. Anyone can do this. You just have to believe in yourself. That's really all it comes down to. And like I said, have a relentless desire to not quit. Remember to not let failure hold you back. There's gonna be a bunch of hurdles and bumps along the way, and you're gonna wanna quit. Just don't, because when you look for that light at the end of the tunnel and you keep pushing, you're eventually gonna hit it, and it's all going to be worth it. And then you're in a whole new ball game of believing everything is possible, and your mindset is completely shifted, and your paradigm is brand new, and you truly believe that anything is possible. So all you have to do is never quit. Remember that failure is not the end of the world. It's just an opportunity for you to learn. If you want more tips on how you can strengthen your mindset in this process, watch my last video. But essentially that's it. If you have any questions, just comment and I'll reply as soon as possible. But for now, I'm curious to see who will start, who's eventually going to start killing it with this space, just like every other space that comes out in the online money space. All right, enough talk. Go get to work right now.